งมากินตำมักหุงมากินตำมักหุงใส่มะนาวได้หนึ่งใส่กระดาษไม่หนึ่งปลาแดกตัวน้อยเอามาก่อยใส่น้ำปลาแดกตัวน้อยเอามาก่อยใส่น้ำฮู้ฮ่าฮู้ฮ่าเอาเป๊ปซี่หลุดมัน
My initial invitation to work in Laos from the government was to work in the books and library sector. The work has been continuous and expanding, and the organizational name of convenience attached to that work is Community Learning International. I am the only non-Lao staff that Community Learning International has. In Laos, we have approximately 30 staff, Lao staff. What makes us maybe different than a lot of NGOs or IO operations in Laos and in that region and generally in the development field is that we're very rural focused, but we believe in having local staff in the rural area, from the rural area, who stay in the rural area. What we're involved in, I guess, is trying to find ways to improve the tools for education in Laos. And two of the biggest needs are for physically viable, improved schools for students to learn in, and then giving them the materials in the schools to use, to handle, to learn from. So we're involved in some instances with building village schools, typically 1 or 2 room primary schools where there are none, or where there is a very, very crude structure that is in bad repair, and it makes more sense to build, a more substantial structure. Doing that. Something that we're going to do for the first time this year, and I think we will do quite a bit more of, is building dormitory spaces for students who go to the district high schools. Each district has just one high school, from the remote villages, because we want to create the opportunity and encourage more rural and very rural students to continue their education up to and through the high school level. Very few do that now, and one of the barriers is they are too far away from the district high school, and they have to come and live at the high school. These are kids that typically will be like 13, 14, 15 years old. They leave home sometimes for weeks at a time, sometimes for months at a time. They live in crude thatch shelters that they build themselves. They cook their own meals on the dirt floor, over an open fire. They do their own laundry in the river or stream or whatever is available. They look after themselves totally. Astonishing that they do this, they have the kind of drive to do this and study and go to classes.
Hello, hello, hello. I say hello, you say goodbye. I don't know why. I don't know why. You say goodbye, I say hello. You say goodbye, I say hello. Sabay di, sabay di, sabay di. Koy ba sabay di, เจ้ากันว่าก่อน Koy bo hu wa
spending a lot of time and energy caring for yourself, and the conditions to do that are difficult, you have less time and energy for study. So these kids have to be very dedicated to do this and take on these challenges. And if the estimates that we're working with turn out to be valid, we will be building a 100-student dormitory at Nambak District High School for a bit less than $10,000. It's a concrete and wood structure with a metal roof, and furnishing it for that amount of money as well. The Laos Children's Library boat was an idea that actually came from the Twin Cities, and was a suggestion of some of the members of my Vietnam Veterans of America chapter in St. Paul. So we have about 1,000 books on board this little local narrow small-scale boat, wooden boat, and it goes to villages along the Mekong and a couple tributaries. And for the most part, these villages are not reachable except by water. And we operate in two ways. Initially, they go to a village the first time, and they'll be there about 3 days. And the students at the local school can borrow books in that time period, and usually the school closes down for a couple of days to take advantage of this, and the students read intensively for a couple of days. I mean, these are small books.
นี่เป็นเหือสมุดเคลื่อนที่ขององค์การส่งเสริมการอ่านศึกษาชุมชนผู้อุปถัมภ์เหือลำนี้เป็นโครงการของบ๊อบฉะนั้นพวกเราได้เอาปึ้มจำนวนนึงใส่เหือนี้แล้วก็ไปตามลำแม่น้ำคลองไปสู่ที่บ้านที่ห่างไกลซอกลีกโดยว่าหนทางนั้นรถไปบ่ถึงพวกเราได้เอาเหือนี้ไปจอดอยู่ตามทางเหือหรือว่าตามหาดทรายให้พ่อแม่ประชาชนหรือนักเรียนที่อยู่ในบ้านนั้นได้ลงมาอ่านได้มายืมบางจำนวนก็ได้มายืมแล้วก็ไปอ่านอยู่บ้านหลังจากอ่านแล้วก็ได้เอามาส่งหลังจากนั้นก็ได้ไปต่อบ้านใหม่เดือนหนึ่งพวกเขาจะออกเคลื่อนไหวไปตามลำแม่น้ำคลองนี้ประมาณ 3-4 ครั้งต่อเดือนจากนั้นก็จึงกลับมาหลวงพระบาง
We're always encouraged by the local communities we found to leave books with them. And so the mechanism for doing that is we, in discussion with the local school, a teacher is selected to be kind of the little librarian on the side kind of activity. And we give initially a 100-book bag, or what we call a micro-mobile library. And it is a display thing, usually out of something like denim, a big piece of cloth that has pockets for books, and then it folds all up together and wraps together for movement. And we leave that with the school, primary school always. It's only primary student type books. And then we come back twice during the school year to each school, and we rotate a book bag, so that in fact each student at each primary school is getting access to 300 different books in a year's time. It's not massive, but when you're going from 0 to 300, I think it's significant. We've been doing it for 3 years now. It's such a success, I almost said on the ground, I guess we would say on the water, that it's justified to do it a great deal more. And so I would love to find funds and be doing a half dozen or a dozen library boats in Laos, and maybe extend into Cambodia, maybe do some in Vietnam, I don't know. It's a terrific idea, and it makes a lot of sense when you sit down and think about it.